Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the True Purpose of Life. Today we are going to explain Revelation chapter 6, verse 1 and 2. This chapter is going to be about the four horses and riders on these horses of the book of Revelation. Many of you have been familiar with the expression four horses of apocalypse. Now, let's get to the point, explain verse 1, which says, "And I saw when the Lamb opened one of the seven seals, and I heard one of the four living creatures say with a voice as of thunder, come." So we have discussed in the previous chapter, chapter 5, about the Lamb, that the Lamb is the resurrected Jesus Christ, or Michael, with the kinship, heavenly kinship established for him in heaven. He is the head of heavenly kingdom government, and he has the authority over the heavens and upon the earth. So to him only his Father Jehovah gave this privilege, because he stretched out the scroll to him with seven seals, and Jesus had the right to open this seal, no one else. That's why it says, "And I saw when the Lamb, Jesus Christ, opened one of the seven seals," because there are seven seals. He opened just one, but he's going to open the second, the third, until the seventh. "And I heard one of the four living creatures," one of the four living creatures. So we have four living creatures in front and around the throne, with the face of a man, which symbolizes love, with the face of the lion, courage, with the face of a bull, power, and with the face of an eagle, wisdom, farsighted wisdom, watching, looking in distance. So prophetically, looking thousands of years in distance. "And I heard one of the four living creatures says," one of these living creatures that we just mentioned, with a voice as of thunder. Now, let's see who is this living creature. Now, this living creature is not with a human face here, but is with a lion-like face, lion-like feature, because it requires courage. See? Because we are dealing here with warfare. And for warfare to take place, you cannot send cowards to fight. You have to send people with strong courage to accomplish this war. So Jesus here is, as the Lamb, is full of courage and full of authority, full of dignity, to accomplish this war with his brothers, 24 elders, or 144,000. Now, let's focus on this. So, let's read verse 2, which says, "And I saw, and look, a white horse, and the one seated upon it had a bow, and a crown was given him, and he went forth conquering and to complete his conquest." Conquering and to complete his conquest, not to leave things in the middle, or 99%, 100%. Now, again, now let's explain this. "And I saw," so John saw, "and look, a white horse." So here we have a horse Horse symbolizes warfare in the Bible. And white symbolizes holiness, holy war, right? And righteousness. So this war, you see, is a righteous war. But white symbolizes peace. So warfare, right? Holy war, a righteous war to bring peace. That's why Jesus is called the King of Peace. You see? And the one seated upon it had a bow. So the bow, he had a bow. So the bow is offensive, takes the initiative for this warfare, is a war situation, you see, with a bow. And a crown was given him. So Jesus here has a crown. So who gave to him the crown? He cannot give the crown to himself. So his father Jehovah gave to him the crown. But he gave the crown also to his own brothers, 24 elders, the resurrected, anointed ones, starting from Apostle John that saw this vision, Peter, Luke, Paul, and so on. They are the beginning of the first resurrection, part of 24 elders or 144,000. These all will be co-rulers with Christ in heaven. Now, let's read Revelation chapter 19, verse 11 and 14. Revelation chapter 19. Okay, very thin pages in my Bible. And verse 11 first, which says, I saw heaven opened, and look, a white horse. So again, white horse. And the one seated on it is called Faithful, and True. You see? And he judges and carries on war in righteousness. So as Jesus is faithful and true to Jehovah, his God, the same 24 elders are faithful and true, and they cannot select themselves as such to be part of that heavenly kingdom government. The Father, Jehovah, had to select all of them based to what he saw on their heart, in their heart. So they all, as Jesus, as the primary seed of heavenly organization, they are all faithful and true, and he judges, and they judge as well, and they carry on war in righteousness. As I mentioned, we mentioned in the past, so they have the three responsibilities in one person: will rule as kings, as judges, and as priests. Now, verse 14 says, also, the armies in heaven were following him on white horses. So besides the 144,000 or 24 elders that will follow Jesus, angels will get involved in this warfare. So this warfare is in Armageddon. So the preparation has started right when Jesus was appointed as king. And he did this preparation through the preaching and teaching activity in over 250 countries. So it's no place on the earth that this preaching activity has been silent. This preaching activity is taking place even today, and is facing too much persecution because it is a warfare taking place, in a sense, spiritual warfare. But in Armageddon, this is going to be a physical one, not only against Satan, the devil, and his co-workers demons, but against this human society that opposes this preaching and teaching activity. That 10 million of us are involved all over the globe. That's why we are trying for you personally to take personal interest in this information, and we provide personal home Bible studies with you to know these deep matters. Yes, again, verse 14. Also, the armies in heaven were following him on white horses, and they were clothed again in white, clean, fine linen. Now, let's read about the co-rulers of Christ. Again, these 24 elders in Daniel chapter 7, verse 27. Daniel chapter 7. Okay. Daniel chapter 7, verse 27. Which says, and the kingdom and the rulership, again we are talking about the kingdom here and the rulership in heaven, not on the earth, and the grandeur of the kingdoms under all the heavens. So we are talking here kingdoms under the heavens. So this kingdom is going to rule over the earth. So these kingdoms will be insignificant in time, were given to the people who were the holy ones. So these were people selected by Jehovah from the earth to go up in heaven, of the Supreme One. Their kingdom is an everlasting kingdom, not a temporary one. You see, because for 6,500 years human history, many kingdoms come and go, but not this one. This is going to last forever. And all rulerships will serve and obey them. So we will be the citizens under this heavenly kingdom government. And we are teaching the matters of this heavenly kingdom government with Christ and 24 elders and the structure of this government. What is going to do is doing right now with the preaching and teaching activity, and what is going to do right after Armageddon and after the final test. You see? Final test 1,000 years after Armageddon. Now, who has installed this, who has installed Jesus, number one, and who has installed these co-rulers to rule beside Jesus as kings, judges, and priests? Can they do that themselves? Let's go to Psalm chapter 2, yes. Verse 6 to 8. Give me a second. Very small pages. Bear with me. Thank you. 6 to 8. It says, saying, I myself, says Jehovah, have installed my king. You see, on Zion, my holy mountain, let me proclaim the degree of Jehovah. He said to me, you are my son. See, that's why he's called the Son of God. Today I have become your father. Ask of me, and I will give nations as your inheritance, and the ends of the earth as your possession. So after Jesus was resurrected in heaven, right? Was resurrected, he appeared to his apostles, and when he went to heaven 40 days later, he said, all authority has been given me in Matthew chapter 28, in heaven and upon the earth. Even, you see, above the 4 living creatures, and above the 24 elders, or 144,000, and all the angels, his dignified for eternity. Now, why war? We mentioned this. Again, because of opposition. As we mentioned, because of opposition that Satan has put against Jehovah's right rulership. He tries to challenge it in front of the angels and in front of humans. And that's why this warfare is taking place. It's a spiritual warfare. That's why we preach it and teach it. But at Armageddon, in Armageddon, is going to be a physical one, because all this human society is going to be put to sleep. And it's a prophecy. And is going to be put to sleep probably forever. And that's why we have this warfare, spiritual one first. And we are assisting you to come to this accurate knowledge, and write me at thetruepurposeoflife@gmail.com, and we can provide for you personal interest, individual interest, not collective one. These videos don't do the job. We have to go with milk, as the Bible says, spiritual food as milk, until you'll be able to chew this strong spiritual food. Now, let's read about this warfare in Revelation chapter 12, verse 7 to 12. Revelation chapter 12, the last verse for this video. 7 to 12, it says, "And war broke out in heaven, Michael, and his angels battled with the dragon," Satan the devil, "and the dragon and its angels, demons, battled, but they did not prevail." So the war in heaven, we are going to learn, started in 1914, when the First World War started here on the earth. We'll learn those details, no worries. Nor was a place found for them any longer in heaven. So Satan was through from heaven to the earth. That's why we had trouble in 1914. So down the great dragon was hurled, the original serpent, the one called devil and Satan, devil, liar, and Satan opposer, who is misleading the entire inhabited earth. He was hurled down to the earth, and his angels, his demons, were hurled down with him. I heard a loud voice in heaven say, "Now have come to pass the salvation and the power and the kingdom of our God and the authority of his Christ, because the accuser, Satan, of our brothers, has been hurled down, who accuses them day and night before our God. And they conquered him because of the blood of the Lamb, and because of the word of their witnessing," preaching work, "and they did not love their souls even in the face of death. On this account be glad, you heavens, and you who reside in them, angels, 4 living creatures, and 24 elders. Woe for the earth and for the sea, because the devil has come down to you. Woe for us here on the earth, because persecution is, and suffering, and trouble, and warfare, and famine, and pestilences, and so on, having great anger, knowing that he has a short period of time." That's it. Next time, we will go from Revelation chapter 6, verse 3, 4, and 5. Thank you for watching, and I see you on the next video.